Every October the 11th is the International Day of the Girl Child, a day set aside to celebrate the power of girls and highlight the barriers they face. In this story, just Nigeria's Mercy Frank bends 20 years backward to see how far the girl child has come in Nigeria. Have a look.
In a world where dreams shatter before they take flight, the girl child is breaking barriers, defying expectations. From classroom to boardroom.
It wasn't something I got on a platter of gold. I fought for it.
Most people don't believe that there is a woman who understands the business of sports the way I do.
From the grey-haired to the innocent, how free is she from the patriarchy? For generations, Nigerian girl children have been denied the opportunities and freedoms boys took for granted. Yet, some dared to defy the odds, breaking barriers, leaping over walls. Senator Grace Bent, a grassroots politician, defied the ethnic card and was elected into office in 2007. Originally from southwestern Nigeria's Osun State, but married to an Adamawa man from the northeast, she tells tales of her scars.
Seeing what the women were being, confronted with, the marginalization, the alienation, the humiliation, the backstabbing, the conspiracy. It was that bad. I had about 8 men to contend with during my primaries. And mind you, a lot of them were seeing me as a wife. This issue of non-indigenship.
17 years after, she says with politics no longer perceived as just for men only, the sacrifice were worth it.
So far in Adamawa State, we've been able to produce 3 female senators. And that is instructive. It's a first of its kind in Nigeria.
Sports suffer the same fate as politics, with reports indicating men dominating all areas, including management, education, coaching, and administration. But despite this hurdle, Nkechi Obi, former athlete, sports administrator, and management consultant with over 40 years of experience, sits on boards and calls the shots. But she says it didn't come cheap.
If I go to meetings with a team, and I make a presentation, when it's time to ask questions, they'll be asking the men. So I went on TV, did all the analysts, did everything for 8 years to convince them that no need to ask me. When we come for meetings, let's just get down to the business. I know this business.
Nkechi affirms that it is not yet uhuru for women in sports.
When you see people in administration, women in administration at the very top of their profession, girls are beginning to understand that it is possible to manage, administer, govern, or own a sports property.
From ancient civilizations, the girl child has battled discrimination head-on, robbing societies of progress. Advocacy came to a head at the World Conference on Women in Beijing in 1995. 189 countries unanimously adopted a Beijing Declaration to advance the rights of not only women but girls. But that was how United Nations General Assembly declared October 11 as the International Day of the Girl Child to recognize girls' rights and the unique challenges girls face around the world. Today, there are indications that girls in different countries, including Nigeria, are experiencing some level of progress. From education,
we launched a program that after 10 years brought 1.5 million girls back to school. Girls that otherwise would have never had an opportunity to access school.
To the perennial forced union and domestic violence.
We said that it's improving, but still 4 out of every 10 girls in the country are being married between 13 and 17 years. I must say Nigeria is the third highest country around the world where this is happening. So before it was higher, now it is less, but it has to be much less.
In fact, when it comes to a lot of policy, advocacies, legal rights, and things like that, we can see a lot of NGOs, civic societies actually rising up to protect the rights, especially when it comes to gender-based violence of young girls and women nowadays. And we have several mobile apps that even young girls can actually reach out to when they feel like they are being violated against.
And gender equality.
There are indicators of gender equality, but I must say the country is still very behind in education. So we cannot say that nationally the country has achieved a 50-50.
Have policies that are advocating for quota system for young girls and women in different levels of the society in order to ensure that there is inclusiveness and young girls' voices are heard more in our society.
Talks about progress will be incomplete without the mention of southern Nigeria's oil-rich river state, where girls now have the same right as boys to inherit family property.
It's a beautiful law, and in River State, we're happy to say that the courts have been enforcing that law. We have had a number of cases where we have gone to court to ask for the interpretation of the law, and the law has been interpreted to say you cannot deprive any woman from inheriting her father's property.
If you want to measure the level of commitment, the level of engagement towards anything, one of the ways to measure it is how much budget you are putting into that.
We need to strengthen policy implementations and also enforcement. We need to really strengthen them.
With the constantly evolving workplace terrain, a STEM educator who equips girls with digital skills in underserved communities testifies of the changes the girls experience.
A lot of changes. The way they think, the way they interact with their community, the way they see education and learning that is beyond learning for exams, but solving problems within their communities.
Should STEM education be strategically prioritized, this advocate says the nation will grow a pipeline of problem solvers that can ready them for global competitiveness.
One thing we do majorly is to teach them how to think, then teach them how to identify problems in their community, then create solutions via STEM to solve the problems. And as we go through that process of converting what they like into skills, then skills into solutions, we also expose them into international competitions.
From inner cities to upscale neighborhood, girls share the dreams and concerns for the future, hoping that one day they too could be trailblazers like Senator Grace Bent and Nkechi Obi.
But I want to study robotics engineering. I am an actor, author, illustrator, and a programmer.
I don't like the corruption that is in Nigeria because it makes me feel bad and sad.
First, I want to be a lawyer. Then after that, I'll be a diplomat.
I want to become a civil engineer.
As Nigeria joins the world in celebrating progress made for these young minds, experts insist that the fight for girls' rights should gain momentum to create a world where girls are free to dream, where their voices are heard, and where the vision for the future are not stifled by outdated beliefs. Mercy Frank, Just Nigeria.
celebrating milestones and looking ahead, the future looks bright for the girl child. Now, do you think Nigeria is doing enough to protect the welfare of the girl child? Share your thoughts with us on X at Just Nigeria TV. Let's hear from you.